Last election it took 3. It'll almost certainly be 3 next time, and it could be worse if we don't make these changes.
What's your evidence for that, Mr. Bishop, that it could be worse? Why are you saying that?
Because you're not hiring enough staff.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're not hiring enough staff. Yeah.
Hire more people.
This is why Australia closes the rolls.
Australia has compulsory voting.
But that's not relevant. I mean,
yes, it is. If you want to compare to the way Australia do it, you need to compare to the way Australia does it. Australia's compulsory. So you're suggesting we should close it off and have compulsory voting? No. Oh, okay. But that's you can't compare us to Australia then.
It's totally relevant.
It's not relevant at all.
It's a completely different system.
The UK closes the rolls earlier than we do.
But if you
are an international outlier in the idea that you can rock up on election day.
Okay, so let's put election day to one side. Let's put election day to one side, though. We're talking about a 12 or 13 day period now, which is very different, right?
And it's a really clear period which says the rolls close here, and once that happens, you can start voting.
But why should we not believe that it isn't, given you yourself accept that generally the votes that come through...
Finally accept, you should have said, Jack.
Special votes that are cast during that period tend to favour your opponent rather than your party. Why should we believe that this isn't just a cynical measure to oppress your opponent's support?
No, it's fundamentally about the operation of and the efficient administration of an election, so that we can actually get a result and get the votes counted properly and get a result, and then the negotiations done, so New Zealand can have a government. And then the second thing, which, to be honest, no one...
Again, victory speech on election night. You guys... took forever to get together and do your silly little dance. Maybe you should be more pointing that, when we were at school, when you point at someone, 3 fingers are pointing back at yourself. Maybe it's more about that, Mr. Bishop, maybe.
One's paid any attention to is the electoral roll. Firstly, it's a requirement of law to get on the roll. So you're meant to be on the roll. Jury rolls, for example.
I think we're done. It now goes into all the reasons why everyone should be registered. And this is the thing, just as a paraphrase, one of the things that Judith Collins found out when she said it was a breach of the Bill of Rights was one of the reasons it's a breach of the Bill of Rights, I'm paraphrasing, is because this is how New Zealand does elections. So because this is how we do them, then to change it is a problem. It doesn't matter if you compare it to Australia or England. This is how we do them. So all those people who aren't locked in like us, hearing all these announcements, will go, Dad signed up on the day last year. I'll just do that this time around, because they haven't been watching Jack Tame or listening to, I'm sure they're listening to us, but that one episode where we didn't say it, they're not listening to us, and they won't know. And so people will be disenfranchised through, I'm going to say the word ignorance, not because you're ignorant, but they just don't know. They don't have the information, and that's not okay. It's not okay to disenfranchise someone because they're not fully informed in what is probably the most important role we play in society, in a democracy, which is to cast a vote. No one should be disenfranchised. There should be nothing put in the way of voting for anyone. If you're putting a hindrance in the way, then you are disenfranchising people who want to vote. Clint.
Yeah. And I mean, the National ACT MP Todd Stevenson revealed the real agenda here, didn't he? When he said, we don't want lazy people rocking up on election day and voting to tax other people's money away. That's how they view that. They've clearly got a picture of their late enroller in their head, and they think that person is not worthy of a vote. And if there's a way to take the vote away from them, then that's a good thing. And because they vote wrong, that's what this ultimately comes down to.
Yeah, they vote wrong, meaning they vote left. That's exactly. They vote wrong. Yeah.
And so everything else is just a post hoc justification. And they're not just rolling back the on the day enrollment that was introduced before 2020. They're going back in and changing you can enroll up to 13 days out, which was set in law in 1993. So again, a national government. So they're rolling back this huge, because they know that so many people are going to get caught out next election, like you say, just not being aware.
Yeah,
tens of thousands of people are going to find they can't vote. They're going to be disenfranchised by this, and they know perfectly well that's the case. And that's why they're doing it. So and the thing is now, like with NCEA, like with all these other reforms, the question is, how do we now? It's going to undermine trust in government, and so there's going to have to be some kind of cross-partisan solution after the next election, if there's a change of government or whenever, so that we can have trust in these outcomes again, so that there's not so clearly a party putting their hand on the scales in their favor. Because that's the worry about this, is that you end up with an American situation where people say the elections are rigged because they're trying to rig it.